Hello, hello. Happy Monday. This is Moongazing Monday. My name is Ava and the channel is Aegis Paranormal. We are very happy to have you here. We are going to be sharing our moon photography with you. And this is all done with our Nikon camera. This camera does have two color filters built in, and that is red and blue. All the other photography that you see is what we saw with our eyes. The only editing that I've done on these is I may have cropped them a little bit, but usually you see them as they were. I have a lot of fun with photography, and it just makes me very happy to be able to share it with you here. That's one of the passions that Doug and I share together is photography. He's very good at framing his pictures, and he gets some really artistic photos. I'm very impressed with his camera skills, and we just have so much fun doing it. Sometimes we get home and we're just like, oh, we did that? I bet it's no credit to us. It's just the beauty of nature, right? So actually nature did it, and we just happened to catch it on the camera. But we enjoy it so much. So thank you for being here. Let's get over here to the chat and say some hellos. I see Floss. Hello, Floss. Thanks for being here. There's Lily T, and boy, she's already got her moon emojis lined up. Where's my phone? I don't have mine lined up just yet, but I will. Give me a minute. Give me a minute, and I will. No, the emojis are part of what makes this so fun for me. No, now I'm sending messages. My phone has a mind of its own. All right, thank you. We'll put you on silent first. Then I'll find my emojis. There I was saying hello. Now you're going to see the channel Ava Potterfield and Friends in the chat. That is me over on my main channel, and that's what I'll be using to put my emojis in from my phone. So I need to get over there in a minute. So Lily has started her Afghan for the king size bed. I've only ripped out one row, and she's on row 3. Yeah, it's going to be big. It's going to be big. King size is big, but you know what? When it's done, you're going to love it. You're going to love it when it's done. See, there's some ones. I should have looked for that first. Oh, really? Lily says, I just realized you have the same colors as my mom on her walls. Awesome. You know, we've had this blue, and the yellow goes into the kitchen. The kitchen's yellow. And then this room's blue. We're going to be doing some painting. And I know what color I would like. I don't know what Doug has in mind. We'll have to compare notes and figure out what we're going to do. It won't be right away, but sometime in the near future, hopefully. Quit licking my phone. Someone's licking my phone. I wonder who that could be. Hi, Stevie. Yeah, I know I ate watermelon without you. It was awful. It was horrible of just to do that. We had watermelon. Quit licking my mouth. There's no watermelon in there. Lily's mom has the kitchen is yellow and the living room is blue. There you go. Absolutely. Well, welcome. I'm glad to have you all here. And we are ready to get this going. We're going to go ahead. I'm going to put this in the chat. And keep this pup off my computer. Can you get down there? Thank you. And get over here to the other side. Which one are we ready for? We are ready for, oh, it's a daytime moon. All right. Let's get up here where I left off. But first, let's talk about the moon for a moment. So tonight is the full moon. It's called a flower moon because it's a springtime moon. And I can't wait to go out and look at it. I haven't been outside yet. Moonrise was at 8:40 p.m. Central Time. So that's been, 20 more minutes. It would have been an hour ago. So I'll be able to see it pretty quickly here where I'm located. I'm ready to get out and do more moon photography now that the weather is warming up for the spring. I've been waiting all winter, and it's going to be fun. I can't wait to get out there with my Nikon camera. So again, tonight is the full moon. It's called the flower moon because it's a springtime moon in May. So everybody take a moment and go out and take a look at the moon before you go to bed. All right, back to the chat. We've got all kinds of moon emojis going on. I had to put mine in twice to get them to stick in the quick access section. They didn't the first time. Not sure why. So Lily says, I could sleep with that music. That's the one with the moon rising over the Mississippi that Doug did. And yes, that is such soothing music. Oh my goodness. Absolutely. There I am lining up my emojis twice, trying to get them to be where I can get them real quick. And Lily says, I'm wearing PJ pants with coffee cups on them. And I love that. I love that. I bet they're really cute. Yeah, on the computer screen where I have a bigger picture, I can see the bats going across there. But I don't know that you can on your phone. We just ate some watermelon. It was so good. And the dogs, we had them put up because we were doing something else earlier and they needed to be out of the way. So then we went ahead and ate our watermelon while they were still put up. That's why Stevie was like smelling my mouth. Is there anything left in there? So that red moon is one that I use the red filter on. Now, on my phone, those were red hearts. I don't know why they look black on StreamYard, but they always do. Oh, tomorrow night I'm going to play your music in my Jeep. Fantastic. Fantastic. Lily says, oh, I hope it's not cloudy when it comes up here. I don't know if it's cloudy here or not. There might be a few clouds, but I don't think it's overcast. Of course, I'm in Missouri, so I don't know what it's like there where you are. All right, let's see what's next. What do we got going on? I don't know. The dogs have a sack or something. Yes, Stevie's got a sack. That's what all the noise is. Bless his little heart. All right, we are ready for this one. Here we go. Oops, I wasn't ready there. Let's get over here. Let me mark where I left off so I know where to go. All right, let's see. So Lily says it's been raining off and on there. So it might be cloudy when you look at the moon. I don't know. Floss says possible storms tonight here, low in the 60s. You know, here where I am in my part of Missouri, it is 67 degrees right now. Lily says beautiful bright moon. We got moon emojis. I like seeing those moon emojis coming in. Now, the blue moon that we saw just a few minutes ago, that was done with using the blue filter in my camera. Yeah, awesome. It's Buddy you hear in the background. So, gazing at the moon. Gazing at the moon is so relaxing for me. And I enjoy the details of the moon, the craters, the dark areas, the lighter areas, the different phases of the moon. Do you have a favorite phase of the moon? The sounds of nature in the nighttime around you while you're gazing at the moon and looking at the stars. It all comes together to make a beautiful, beautiful evening and just super fantastic. So that first one that we watched in that set of 4, the first one was a clip of the lunar eclipse. That was fun to record and photograph. Now, you talk about being tired the next day. It was a long time on my feet, but worth every minute. It was so fun to watch. And that second one with the clouds, they were really moving that fast. And when it would be a total blackout, I'm like, oh boy, did I move the camera? Is it still going to be showing in the camera when it comes back out? Where to go? I would lose my sense of where I was with the camera. Even though it was on a tripod, it was very disorienting to know if it was going to come back in your screen or not. And then that last one, that was a clip of the supermoon. And it really was just gorgeous. It was that big and it was that orange. That was not a filter. That was really how it looked. And I'm so glad that we went that night, because it was, for a while, it was completely overcast and we decided to go anyway. And I'm so glad that we did, because we hadn't been there 10 minutes. We thought we were just going to sit out and listen to the evening sounds and drink coffee. But in about 10 minutes, the clouds started thinning enough to take some photography. And it was a fun photo shoot that night. It was very fun. Let's see, get back here to the chat. Oh yeah, so here we are with that music, right? That was Arkansas Traveler, which we also know is the Bumblebee song, right? So Lily said, "He bit me." I said, "Ouch." Let's see here. Yep, looking at the moon. And Floss says that was interesting with the clouds, and Lily thought so too. It's always fun when you're able to catch something that's different, right? And that isn't the first time I've photographed the clouds in the moon, but that night the camera stayed focused enough that it looked okay to video record that, to actually film that. That doesn't always happen that way. Yeah, and those clouds were moving really fast. Here's Lily. Pippi is her dog. She said, "Pippi is drooling. I'm sharing a popsicle." And here, down a few comments down, I said, "I scream for ice cream. Pippi drools for popsicles." Oh my goodness. And here's where we were looking at the supermoon. Oh, you started watching Doug's birthday live. That was a fun night. And that cake was really good. And I didn't even know it until I watched it back that I had icing on my mouth. Doug's over there eating so carefully. And here I am. I got icing. I was eating with a fork. I don't know what to tell you. I get excited over cake. He had a good birthday. And that was a good evening for sure. Well, we have time to watch a few more. So I say we hop right to it. We are ready for this one right here. saw you come in. So we were talking about the birthday cake and how I had it all over my face, and I get excited about cake. Lily agrees. Cake is delicious. Absolutely. I could eat some right now. I've got a chocolate one in there to make. And probably some chocolate icing somewhere, because that's what I like to have on it. There's IMG loading up his emojis there. Oh, and he's been howling at the moon again. Thank you, Floss. You know, when we go out and take pictures, we take more than we need, because inevitably what you thought was a good photo turns out to be a little blurry, or you may have moved a little, or someone bumped the tripod, or who knows, the atmosphere just changed, which changed the focus of the camera. So we work hard when we're taking those photos. Right? When we're out in the country with friends, we howl at the moon. It's so cool. Thank you, Lily. Lily says up close the eclipse that looked like a honeydew. It did. I can see that. Thank you very much. Thank you, Lily. All right, well, we've reached almost the end, because I'm going to show one more moon video and then I'll play my outro. But first, I just want to thank you all for being here and spending part of your evening with me and watching our moon photography. We hope you've enjoyed it. It brings us joy to be out taking photos. Sometimes we go out and just moon gaze without the camera, but I try to use the camera as much as I can, because it's so fun to go back and look at the photos. It really, truly is. I always leave you with this thought, and it is always heartfelt every single time. If you are struggling right now, please know that you are not struggling alone. It may feel like it, but you never struggle alone. So many of us are struggling with so many things at any given moment. So just hang in there with all you've got and never give up. If all you can do are teeny tiny baby steps, that's okay, because baby steps are progress. Okay? Baby steps are progress, and you've got this. So never give up. Thanks again for being here. One more video.